three-game series here in New York between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the New York Mets. Turns out to be the rubber match. Also, the final game of the regular season series between these two clubs. We're coming your way from Flushing, New York. Greg Brown along with John Wehner and Robbie Inzmikowski. Glad you could join us. The Pirates were, well, they were hammered by Noah Syndergaard, Thor, last night, who put the hammer down and beat the Bucks, almost went the distance. And yeah, it was Noah Syndergaard, John, but the Pirates just 5 hits last night. That's kind of been a recurring theme lately for this team. But one guy who will be in the starting lineup tonight, David Freese, he's one guy that's kept a hot bat going.
And he's been swinging the bat extremely well since he's been a Pirate, especially since he has been playing regularly. He's been hitting the ball well, and you watch this package here, everything's to left center or to right field. That means you're pretty much locked in. You're using your hands, you're staying inside the ball. David will tell you when he's going good, he's not hooking the ball. He's creating backspin, he's hitting the ball where it's pitched, and he has been outstanding. And for me, I think it's more impressive because he hasn't been playing every day.
Pinch hit RBI double last night to break up the shutout bid by Noah Syndergaard. The Pirates again fell to the New York Mets, and the Mets collected a season-high 19 hits, despite the fact two of their guys in the lineup, very important cogs to the offense, Neil Walker and Michael Conforto, missed starts again. However, they are back in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that they had a struggling offense the way they went about it last night, but these guys certainly will give them a boost. They have the danger of hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Neil Walker, the 17 extra base hits, you may know 13 of those left the park, just 4 doubles, but Conforto also, the average is down, but he's certainly capable of getting the big hit and driving in the 29 runs so far.
The Mets are trying to win a series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. That has been tough for them to do the last couple of years. Meanwhile, the Pirates are going to face the ageless wonder, Bartolo Colon. Truly a gem in the game of baseball. We'll talk about him and more coming up next. He's getting ready for his 14th appearance this season. The 43-year-old Bartolo Colon, 5-3 on the year, an earned run average of .308. He really is a wonder, isn't he?
Must watch
TV. This guy, you have to watch him. It's truly remarkable. He throws all fastballs, and you can see he still gets big league hitters out at the age of 43. I mean, just 8 hits, 1 run, 7 innings against the Brewers. At home, his ERA is under a 3. Against the Pirates, his ERA under a 2. This guy, simply remarkable.
8 career starts against the Pirates with that 1.88 ERA. Juan Nicasio will be his opponent. Nicasio forced to pitch out of the bullpen on Friday at PNC Park when Garrett Cole's start was cut short. His last start was a win against these New York Mets a week ago this past Tuesday.
Now, you pretty much know what you're getting when you face Juan Nicasio, sinker slider. He went upstairs quite a few times against the Mets the last time the Pirates faced him last week, and he got some swings and misses. Then when he gets the sinker down, he can get the ground ball. Got a double play ball here. So yeah, definitely Juan Nicasio. We've seen these guys. I think the key is always with him is the balls and strikes. Throwing the sinker slider, get ahead in the count, finish him off.
Neil Walker returns to the starting lineup. He has had a back problem the last couple days. We will talk about him and more and have the first pitch shortly. But right now, back to the studio and a game break with Rob King. York. Pirates and the Mets. Bucks will continue this road trip into Chicago against the Cubs, but first they face this man, remarkable Bartolo Colon. First pitch swinging. This should be and will be an infield single for Josh Harrison. Last night's game started out in one pitch. John Jaso laced a single into center field against Noah Syndergaard. Here Harrison with his second hit of the series as the infield hit to Asdrubal Cabrera. The rest of the RAV4 starting lineup: Gregory Polanco coming up, then Andrew McCutchen and Jung Ho Kang. McCutchen hitting third for the second straight night. David Freese starts at first base. Matt Joyce is in left. Jordy Mercer, Eric Kratz, Juan Nicasio for the Pirates. See John Jaso not in the lineup. David Freese instead, who has a couple of hits in 3 career at-bats against Cologne. And now Gregory Polanco. As John just said, this is must-see TV. This is throwback baseball. Day and age where the physique is so important, the streamlined body. These are the days way back when guys like Mickey Lolich would take the mound, or to a degree Rick Russell. Russell, Big Daddy's svelte man these days, the retired former Bucco.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good athlete. I mean, you look at him and you think, what?
Yep.
But he can, he can field his position. We've seen him make some over-the-shoulder catch earlier this year.
The home run,
the big league, the first big league homer. Does a good job of holding runners,
and does it with just precision accuracy with the fastball that they'll pitch to any part of the zone except the middle of the zone.
Late movement deception. There you see 5 and 3, a 3.08 ERA. Just about he gives up about a hit per inning. Opponents hit 271. Doesn't strike out many. Rarely walks a batter. About 1 per start.
Polanco had a base hit off Noah Syndergaard last night. So you're going from Noah Syndergaard, who threw his changeup last night at 90 miles an hour and a slider at 92, to this guy Bartolo Colon, whose fastball doesn't hit 90 most nights.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How about that the difference from one night to the next? Chop to second. Walker thought about second, instead goes to first. 1 out.
Yeah, just making sure of one. I don't think he got a good grip on that ball as he tried to get Josh Harrison. He knew he wasn't going to turn 2, but he ends up not having a grip, just getting the out at first.
We're going to get to our Rivers Casino tips to win. See what John has to offer here.
Well, try not to miss the mistakes, and Colon does throw a lot of pitches on the edges with movement, but he will make mistakes. Try not to miss them at 86, 87 miles per hour. And I think it's important for Nicasio to handle the left-handed batters. We mentioned at the open 2 new ones in Walker and Conforto in there tonight. First time this series, but 5 lefties in all for Juan Nicasio.
So Andrew McCutchen in that more familiar 3-hole. Three for 9 in his career against Bartolo Colon, who's believed to be 43 years old. His birthday was May 24th. Listed at 5'11", 283 pounds. That's 100 pounds heavier than when he made his major league debut, April the 4th, 1997.
Nope, there's a fastball at 90, and that's about as high as you'll see it go.
19th major league season, his 3rd with the Mets. He'd signed a 2-year deal before the 2013 season. 14 season, that is. Strike is called, and then that expired. It was a free agent last year. They signed him to a 1-year contract to return this season for a 1-year, $7.25 million. Here's Terry Collins. His Mets 35-29 on the year. Popped up. Shallow right, Granderson. 2 away. McCutchen mired in an 0 for 17, now 18 slump. Well, Michael Conforto has returned to the starting lineup, bothered by a wrist problem. Defense brought to you by Honda. Yoenis Cespedes in center, Curtis Granderson in right, Wilmer Flores, James Loney on the corners, Asdrubal Cabrera, Neil Walker up the middle, along with the veteran catcher Rene Rivera. Now Jung Ho Kang. Just about anybody that's been around for a few years has gotten at least a look at Bartolo Colon. Been around so many years for Jung Ho Kang. Last year he was 1 for 5 in the start that Colon made against the Pirates August 14th here. Line to left. Diving catch! Oh my word, what a play! That's one of the best all year by any player. Michael Conforto keeps the Pirates off the board with a sensational diving grab, worthy of a standing O.
Jung Ho can't believe it. Unreal.
Couldn't believe it. The catch that Michael Conforto just made, robbing Kang of a double and the Pirates of an early lead against Bartolo Colon.
Well, just a perfect route, a perfectly timed dive, parallel to the ground, and catching it with about 6-8 inches off the turf.
Too many times, outfielders, even to a degree infielders, will dive just to make the highlight shows that night. But that was a necessary and incredible catch.
Yep. Now, I was just about to say that's an interesting matchup for me because Jung Ho's such a good fastball hitter, and that's pretty much all Colon throws, and a lot of pitchers don't want to throw Jung Ho the fastball. Juan Nicasio gets the start. Here's his Hyundai numbers. 12th game, 59 innings, 60 punch outs. Good. Pretty good location here, I thought. Didn't get the call. Opponent's hitting just .265 against him.
Anderson 3 for 9 in the series. Ball away, 2-2. A dozen homers for Curtis Granderson.
Pretty close. A little different angle from the center field camera, not directly behind home plate. So these pitches look like they're being caught right on that outside corner, but you can see it's just a touch off the plate away.
Drilled. 1-0 New York. Curtis Granderson's 13th. They hit a bunch of home runs. Their offense, in terms of batting average, among the lowest in all of baseball, but they will hit their share of home runs.
Granderson is a guy, I mean, obviously has power. You see it here, the 13th home run. And has very little movement in his swing. He's short and he's quick. Never really got why he wasn't more of a higher average guy. He strikes out a lot, and it's a pretty low maintenance swing. But from afar, I've always admired him, the way he went about his business. He plays hard and doesn't show anybody up. Sprints around the bases, even there after the no-doubter.
He's one of the real pros in the game. Asdrubal Cabrera. 0-2. That is the 86th home run the Mets have hit. 3rd most in the National League, 7th most in the majors. For Nicasio, it's the 10th he's given up. Here's the Curtis Granderson swing.
Pitches on the outside part of the plate, but elevated. There's such a huge difference between that pitch being belt high and knee high.
Comes back and strikes out Asdrubal Cabrera. Granderson homers, Cabrera strikes out. We'll get now to the rest of the starting lineup for Terry Collins' New York Mets. Brought to you by Honda. Yoenis Cespedes coming to the plate. Neil Walker, Michael Conforto, both back in the starting lineup. Wilmer Flores, 4 RBI game last night for the third baseman. James Loney, Rene Rivera, Bartolo Colon for the Mets.
Yeah, it might not seem like a big difference, you know, when you look at an outside pitch and you think belt high, knee high. But if you go and put a tee, get into a stance and put a tee on the outside corner, and put the ball on a tee about belt high and just look at it, and then put the tee on the about, lower it to about knee high and look at it. It looks so much further away when it's on your knees, and when it's up near the belt, it looks like it's on a tee.
2-0 count on Cespedes. 3 for 4, 3 runs scored last night. His 16 homers, 5th most in the league. He's 5th in slugging. .95, but misses. 3-0.
And you bet if he gets one he likes, he'll be swinging.
Four-pitch walk. Nicasio has walked 24 batters unintentionally. Just under 60 innings with 61 strikeouts. Here is Neil Walker. In Milwaukee over the weekend, he was playing second base against the Brewers and took a hard ground ball to the chest. Stayed in the game initially, but then was lifted, so he was feeling a bit lightheaded. Terry Collins said he was worried that maybe he broke a rib. Thankfully he was okay, but then ended up having that back flare up on him, which has been an issue for Neil Walker at times over his Pirates career.
know he can hit for power. And he got off to a great start. A good month of April for Neil. Let's see the home runs at 13. Amazed at just 4 doubles.
Yeah, it's wild because he's, you know, he hit his fair share of doubles for sure. Walker had 3 hits in the 3-game series at PNC Park. Also drew a couple of walks. He was 1 for 2 against Nicasio. Another look at this play against the Brewers over the weekend. Keeps the ball in front of him. Check it out. A trainer and the manager of the Mets. Again, Walker stayed in for, I think, another inning, but then said he was feeling a bit lightheaded, so he was pulled from the game. And makes his first start of this series. Popped it up. Kratz, the Pirates catcher. And Cespedes at first now with 2 down, and it brings up Michael Conforto. Nicasio in that start last Tuesday, it was game 2 of the doubleheader against the Mets, retired the first 12 batters with ease. 4 innings of perfect baseball before Walker singled to start the 5th. Then he got James Loney to bounce into a double play before giving up a double, a walk, and an RBI single and a ground out. And then when he walked the first man in the 6th inning, with the Pirates leading 3-1, Clint Hurdle went to the bullpen. Hard hit, diving stop by Harrison. So Jung Ho Kang says, "Thank you, Jay Hay. Robbed that guy."
A little payback. That was a heck of a play.
Heading to the 2nd, Michael Conforto robbed Jung Ho Kang of an RBI double, and Josh Harrison then robs Conforto of a base hit with a tremendous diving stop to end the bottom of the 1st.
You see how far he's cheating over there with that big hole on the right side, with David Freese holding the runner on, and again, perfectly timed, good angle.
Great Serge, a pitching coach, always appreciates that for his pitcher. David Freese last 17 games hitting at a .367 pace. Pinch hit in the 9th inning against Noah Syndergaard and doubled home John Jaso. He starts at first instead of Jaso. Limited at bats. Clint Hurdle talked about it. Just 2 for 3 in his career against Cologne. Freese, Matt Joyce, Jordy Mercer in the 2nd.
Pretty amazing. You know, that fastball again, 90 miles per hour. He's already gotten some late swings. See guys taking some of these fastballs because they can't pull the trigger.
Cologne takes care of Freese. Check out our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. Bartolo Colon ranks among active pitchers in these categories. First in starts, first in wins. Complete games, he's 2nd. Strikeouts, 2nd. Pitches, 47,443. 2nd among active players. It has been quite a career for Bartolo Colon. Once a hard throwing young righty out of the Dominican with the Cleveland Indians. Spent parts of 6 seasons in Cleveland. This is Matt Joyce. Over to cover. Everything he does, the fans love it.
Oh yeah,
he's a cult hero.
I'm trying to think. It should be obvious who's ahead of him in those other 3 categories.
I'm not going to say.
You're not going to
No,
say,
I'm
but
not
it
going
has
to
to
say.
be obvious.
I think it's pretty obvious. Timer? You want a timer on that? On this?
Yeah, you give me an inning.
Oh yeah.
By the end of
I'll
this
give you more than an inning. Jordy Mercer, 1 for 7 in this series. 0 for 6 against Cologne. Curtis Granderson's home run gives the Mets this early advantage.
And, TV doesn't always give the movement on the fastball justice. And you watch it live, that 2-seam fastball he just threw in there for a strike looks like a screwball. It has so much movement. And it's that something off speed. Perhaps a slider.
He'll throw anything at you. He will do it all. He's something else.
He may throw a handful of sliders a game, a handful of changeups a game.
And look at this. 3 weak ground balls. 1-0 Mets.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partners of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit bordaslaw.com. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Here in New York, the Mets lead 1-0. Rubber match of this series. Juan Nicasio gave up the leadoff home run to Curtis Granderson. Now faces third baseman Wilmer Flores. Bartolo Colon. An easy 1-2-3 second after giving up a leadoff hit in the ball game. An infield single by Josh Harrison. James Loney next, then Rene Rivera. Ouch. An 0-2 pitch. Last thing the Mets need is somebody else to get hurt. An offense that didn't put up a ton of runs even when completely healthy. More difficult certainly with all the injuries they've suffered.
Just such a bad place to get hit.
Another look at this on the Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Ray Ramirez, the head trainer, and Terry Collins checking on him. He's going to stay in the ball game.
You see the hands start forward, and they just start forward just enough. Not sure, maybe he didn't pick it up, didn't recognize that it was that far in and up.
As we said, they don't need another injury. Our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Their captain, David Wright, surgery on the herniated disc in his neck. They tried treating it with the anti-inflammatory injections and rest, but not responding, so he is out and very well could miss the rest of the season, and certainly you have to wonder what it does to his career. We've talked about it a lot last week when the Mets were in Pittsburgh and in this series that Terry Collins is having to do it without David Wright, their first baseman Lucas Duda. Of course, they've traded for James Loney, who's at the plate. Travis d'Arnaud has started to rehab, their starting catcher down in the minors. Juan Lagares, their Gold Glove center fielder, was in the lineup late yesterday afternoon and scratched. He's had a thumb issue. Flores on at first after being hit by the pitch. Well, you're right about this angle. We forget that not too long ago, as we check out a Noah Syndergaard tweet, rough day hearing David Wright is out for the year. His presence and leadership is irreplaceable. A Point Park University tweet from Thor. But you were talking about how that camera being off center, and it wasn't too long ago where every ballpark the camera was set up with this look. But now most cameras are dead center.
Especially at PNC, where we're spoiled because we have such a good look at it.
A lot of ballparks, including PNC Park, now are directly over the pitcher's shoulder. Give you a real good look, but this is off center a bit, so deceiving.
You know, when you are directly behind the pitcher and you're directly lined up with the pitcher's rubber at home plate, the camera has to be a little higher. So there is a little bit of a deception as far as high and low goes because the camera is so much higher than the normal one. But yeah, it's pretty clear in and out what's on or off.
Flores, just one stolen base. Mets don't steal much, but they may want to test Eric Kratz, making his third start since being acquired from the Angels. He was playing AAA ball. Veteran backstop. Well-traveled Eric Kratz with Francisco Cervelli on the DL. Chris Stewart, bumps and bruises, keeping him out another night. He said today that they felt better and that the plan would be to get him back in the lineup tomorrow at Wrigley. Maloney making it extremely difficult.
Making him work.
Eighth pitch coming.
All the pitches right in the middle of the zone.
David Freese to second and back to first. Nicely done. 3-6-3 DP.
Just what the doctor ordered. A lot of pitches already this inning for Nicasio with nobody out. And there's that big hole again on that right side with Freese holding the runner on. There you see it. Fortunately, an easy one hopper. Freese. Quick, easy throw to Mercer. Has a lane to throw it in. Doesn't have the runner to worry about. Close enough to the bag to cover David Freese, which makes it a lot easier for Jordy Mercer. And shortstops, I'm sure, never, maybe a little uneasy when you're trying to throw it to the pitcher covering the bag over there.
Rene Rivera getting an opportunity to catch for the Mets with Travis d'Arnaud on the disabled list. He was signed as a free agent first week of April and was in AAA Las Vegas. One and two. Playing in his 18th game with the Mets, was 3 for 5 last night, drove in a couple of runs, so lifting his average to 185. And got him. A leadoff hit by pitch, then a double play and a strikeout. Completes 2 innings, 1-0 New York. Special Inside Pirates Baseball, loaded with earth-shattering deals that involve Hall of Famers, build playoff contenders, and finalize championship teams. Count down our Pirates' 10 great trades on Inside Pirates Baseball tomorrow at 1 on Root Sports. UPMC scoreboard, 1-0 Mets. On to the third. And yes, plenty of black and gold even here in New York. We'll see more of that in Chicago this weekend. A 3-game series against the Cubs starting tomorrow afternoon. Wilmer Flores feels well enough to get back out there and play third, being hit by the pitch from Nicasio.
Helmet night was always my favorite night.
That was yep. And those are the type of helmets right there that would be given away. Eric Kratz takes a pitch inside. Turned 36 years old yesterday. Eric Kratz returning to the Pirates. Bucks brought him to the big leagues 6 years ago. He is 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. The second go around with the Buccos.
When you see a guy get called up so late in his career, you wonder. And Chris Stewart's another one, kind of a late bloomer, and has kind of gotten better with age, and he's stuck around and put together a nice career. Typically when you see that, where a guy gets called up for the first time in their late 20s or 30 years old, that maybe they're just up for a little while and back down. But Eric Kratz, obviously, like Chris Stewart, stuck around a long time after the long journey to get here.
There's Chris Stewart. There's Flores. Another ground ball. He'll get plenty of those, Colon.
And it's almost like we've used in the past terms like pulseless. Like
in a negative way, but this is a very positive way to be pulseless.
You wonder if he even has butterflies anymore. He's playing wiffle ball. He's playing in the backyard.
He's talked about how he's now 43 years old in his 19th major league season. Even this past winter, when he was a free agent after his 2-year contract had expired, about how it feels good to kind of get back home and relax, but then you get that itch and love playing baseball, love the competition, love the teammates there like family, and he loves New York, the way they've treated him here. When he was signed, many wondered if there would be enough room for him in this rotation. Zach Wheeler rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. Certainly no rush for anybody else. Way Colon is pitching. That 3.08 ERA is 22nd lowest in the National League at the age of 43. Nicasio fouls off and just does get a piece of it.
Currently it's dipped under 3 after 2 1/3.
A Cy Young Award winner, Bartolo Colon. That was in 2005. He's a 3-time All-Star. Strikes out his mound opponent. And his first strikeout, 2 away. We invite you to head to PNC Park on a Thursday for your lunch break. June 23rd, Bucks and Giants will finish up their 4-game series at 12:35. First 20,000 fans will get a Garrett Cole bobblehead presented by Peoples. Go to pirates.com for tickets this coming Thursday, 1 week from today, 12:35 at PNC Park. First 20,000 fans get a Garrett Cole bobblehead presented by Peoples. There's Garrett Cole, and that should be, cross your fingers, all goes well, and no reason to think it won't. It should be just a couple of days before he is activated off the disabled list and gets a start against the Dodgers, you would think, sometime next weekend. Quickly 0-2 on Harrison. Infield single to start the ball game.
I think that was a changeup, and you wonder with Colon, he throws so few changeups and so few sliders. I mean, how does he get a feel for it? How does he have confidence to throw it? And again, he's pulseless. It's just, let's just try something else.
In the air to right, Granderson. Hey, flies to right.
Series against the Mets. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Bartolo Colon steps to bat. It was back on May 7th when he shocked the baseball world by hitting his first career home run in San Diego, and it came off James Shield. Now, his home run trot isn't exactly one that's going to make Billy Hamilton jealous by any stretch. It took him quite a while to make his way around the bases. According to StatCast, 30.5 seconds. That's how long it took him to run the bases, and he topped out at a whopping maximum speed of 9.9 miles an hour. And I get this, Greg and John. By comparison, Nyquist, the horse that won the Kentucky Derby, ran the final quarter mile in less time than Colon, 25.7 seconds. Of course, when he got to the dugout, the teammates, they didn't give him the silent treatment. Everybody ran to the dugout. They gave him the disappearing treatment. But the most pleasant moment by far, if you ask any of these Mets.
Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Well, that speed will be tested. He races into second with a stand-up double.
It's crazy. Look at people with their hands on their head, like. It's not the prettiest looking swing either, but just let's get the bat to the ball. Started motoring there for a moment.
Chewing the gum along the way, making sure he hits first.
Big smile.
Third career double. I could be wrong, but when David Freese was getting that ball back from the outfield, it looked as though he was even trying to hold back a grin. Hard not to.
You know, showing the replay of the home run, I don't know why, it kind of reminded me of like McGuire when he broke the record. Like the other team was going to shake his hand. He was going to stop around the bases and give high fives.
Robbie was talking about what the Mets decided to do. Apparently it was Neil Walker's idea to not give the silent treatment, but everybody retreat into the runway toward the clubhouse. Curtis Granderson, leadoff home run in the first. Let me ask you this, John. You know, normally you'd want to pull the ball to move the runner. But I mean, Colon doesn't go to third unless there's a hit through the infield.
You would think. I mean, yeah.
Right?
It would.
Wouldn't it be interesting, though, if you're, let's say, I'm asking you, you're Harrison, say. Are you thinking right now, if I get a ground ball, I'm throwing to third?
If I get a ground ball hit hard enough, yes, I'm looking that way first. And then you almost have to feel that way for all the guys on that side of the infield. You have to be thinking, you know, if it's hit hard, I got to take a shot at third, or at least look that way.
Saw Colon even take a glance to see if anybody was going to move toward him so he could increase that lead a bit. Shallow center field. McCutchen can't make the play. Colon will head to third, and he is safe. They're laughing in the dugout. Colon was kind of caught in no man's land, wanted to wait to make sure the ball dropped.
If Andrew doesn't slide for it, Colon doesn't go to third. He would have been stuck there at second base. But because Andrew went down and, you know, the ball kicked away a little bit, it gave him just enough time to scoot over there.
Here is Asdrubal Cabrera. Now again, let me ask you, first and third, nobody out. Does anything change? Normally it's just you go for two automatically, right?
Yes, defensively, unless it's not a hard hit ball. You'd have to assume, if you're the Mets, you're going to tell Colon that you know, anything on the ground, you got to go home just to stay out of the double play. And make the Pirates choose whether or not they want to just cut the run off at home or they want to go for the 2 outs. But if you're the, you know, a Pirates infielder and the ball's not hit hard enough to turn 2, then you throw them out at the plate. Or hope to get them in a rundown. That would be fun.
I was thinking there's so many scenarios you're thinking.
Yeah.
Because you just don't see this often. You never do. He's a longtime American leaguer, but this is a situation that is foreign to him, being on the bases at all. Time was called. Fans react. Cabrera struck out in the first. Home plate umpire is Trip Gibson. Over at first base, it is Jerry Lane. He's the crew chief with Hunter Wendelstedt at second, and at third, Ben May.
Yeah, Colon in his career, what is it, 19 years, he has scored 3 runs.
How about that? Oh, 2 the count. Struck him out looking. Big for Nicasio. Now the double play. Gets you out of the inning if you can get it.
Yeah. That's big. There you see. Hey, that's the change. Oh, no, that was a fastball. Good location. I don't know if Cabrera was thinking breaking ball or what, but it snuck that fastball right by him. Correction, 7 runs he has scored. 7 runs. I looked at the wrong line. Colon.
Still not many. A handful, let's put it that way. Bartolo Colon, and over at first base, Curtis Granderson. Yoenis Cespedes walked in the first against Nicasio. on Cespedes.
It almost looked like Cespedes was taking all the way there. It looked like a decent pitch to hit. In this situation, first and third, you might only get one good pitch to hit. And that pitch elevated out over the plate.
Cespedes has hit into 6 double plays. He and Neil Walker. Curtis Granderson tops on the team in that dubious department. And Neil Walker hoping to get a chance here in the 3rd. Granderson 2 for 2. Colon 1 for 1. The double into the right center gap, then moving to 3rd on the single by Granderson. Remember, Nicasio's last outing was out of the bullpen, necessitated by the fact that Garrett Cole lasted just 2 innings on Friday night against the Cardinals. Nicasio was supposed to be just a sideline day for him. He ended up pitching the 12th inning, gave up 6 runs. Nine men came to the plate in the 12th inning against Nicasio. He suffered the loss. A 9-3 final against the Cardinals. He's 5-5 in 12 appearances with Pittsburgh. His first year with the Bucks. It's in the air to Polanco. You know, if they can get the ball in real quick. Now they thought about it. Sacrifice fly as he scores his 8th career run. Cespedes hit it far enough to drive in his 41st. 2-0 New York.
You gotta wonder if you're Cespedes, is that deep enough? Well, obviously it is. It's in almost to the warning track.
A little bit of the sound like the Joe Block call on the radio side there, and it was a high fly ball to right. As Colon will take a seat, and you have to figure Walker's going to take at least a pitch here, if not a couple. And if you're Nicasio, I'd like to quickly throw that pitch.
Yeah.
But now time's a wasted.
And he was on the bases a long time.
Yeah. Have to figure he'd have at least one free strike. There's one. Walker fouled out to Eric Kratz in the 1st. A home run by Granderson led off the 1st inning. And Bartolo Colon helping his own cause with a leadoff double and scoring on the Cespedes sacrifice fly. And that's drilled to deep right. And Neil Walker hits his 14th homer for the Mets. First home run he's hit against his former club. And it gives New York a 4-0 lead in the 3rd. He'll never say it, but that has to feel extra special for Neil Walker.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm not sure the pitch, maybe a changeup. Didn't look like a fastball.
That is the 2nd homer of the night allowed by Nicasio. Now he's given up 11. And this ball hit pretty well to center field, sending McCutchen back toward the wall. And this is gone. Michael Conforto. They're back in the lineup, and they go back to back. 5-0 New York. His 10th. Was that another changeup?
It's hard to tell if that was just a spinning slider. That thing looked like it was breaking in towards the left-handed Conforto. Not exactly sure, though. It was either a changeup or a slider that didn't break.
Bullpen up. Juan Nicasio in a hit around here. He did strike out Cabrera, but Bartolo Colon led off with a hard double to right center. Granderson's was just a fly ball that fell in. Cespedes hit a hard sacrifice fly to right, and then 2 long home runs. Kelly Johnson bats for Wilmer Flores, so an indication that Flores is still hurting after being hit on the wrist by that Nicasio pitch in the second. Kelly Johnson homered last night. Balls, 2 strikes on Kelly Johnson. Jeff Locke had a rough night last night. His Mets collecting a season high 19 hits, and 9 of those against Locke in his 4+ innings. Gave up 8 runs.
Nicasio, you tell with frustration just coming right at Johnson after 2 off-speed pitches hit out of the ballpark back to back. Yes, he did. No, he didn't.
Feeling better. Neil Walker back in the lineup along with Michael Conforto. Homers back to back here. And a fly ball way up there. Shortstop Mercer. Big inning for the Mets. Neil Walker, Michael Conforto, homer, 5-0 New York.
It's time for the Toyota RAV 4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
So Neil Walker and Michael Conforto missing some time recently. Starts anyway. Conforto a sore wrist, and Neil Walker bothered a bit by some back tightness, and now at third base Kelly Johnson takes over for Wilmer Flores. And the Pirates have their work cut out for them. Down 5 to Bartolo Colon, whose career ERA against Pittsburgh is the lowest he's had against any opponent. 188 coming into this game and 8 career starts. His first start was as a member of the Cleveland Indians, first start against the Pirates, and it was June 8th, 1998 at what they used to call the Jacobs Field, now Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. And Bartolo Colon pitched a 4-hit shutout, and the Indians won 8-0 that night. We never did answer your question from earlier, by the way, the stats. Yeah, did you guess?
I guess the only person I could think of would be Sabathia.
Oh, you're good. The only current active player who has more complete games, more strikeouts, and more pitches thrown than Bartolo Colon is indeed CC Sabathia, and Colon strikes out Polanco.
You see Colon kind of throws it from his ear, and I think that helps with the deception. And you see where those pitches are piled on top of each other right there at the knees or just below.
He says he developed that accuracy as a young child growing up in Altamira in the Dominican Republic, which is the northern part of the island, throwing rocks to knock fruit off the trees, throwing at coconuts and mangoes. He always said the coconuts the most difficult to pick off. Line drive to left field for Andrew McCutchen, and McCutchen hits one off the wall and left. He wants a double, and he turns it on into second base. He goes, and there it is. Talk about something that has to feel awfully good for Andrew McCutchen. That ball off the bat snaps an 0 for 18 hitless string.
Yeah, and hopefully that gets him going, as that short, quick stroke. And he got the fastball. He knew he was going to see a fastball off the wall. Bobble out there from Conforto allows McCutchen to get into second. You're not sure if he fields it cleanly.
Well, Jung Ho Kang, he was robbed of a double by Conforto in the first inning. And this bouncer to first, easy for Loney.
And we talk about how Kang likes the fastball, and an 89 mile per hour pitch to Kang jams him.
4th annual celebration of Pittsburgh Pirates autograph and memorabilia show, Saturday, June 25th at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. Cole, Kang, Polanco, McCutchen, Marte, Maz, Van Slyke, plus more current and former Pirates will be there. Admission free. For signing schedule, pricing, and to order autograph tickets, go to phillyshow.com. Need a 2-out hit from David Freese.
That's the four-seam fastball. Not as much movement, a little more velocity. 92.
Two and one. Freeze a little comebacker to Bartolo Colon his first time up. Saw a tweet earlier from Pirates fan Steve Zients, who made mention of the fact that Bartolo Colon is one of 5 players still active who actually played in Three Rivers Stadium. He and Adrian Beltre now with Texas. David Ortiz, of course, Big Papi, the Red Sox, the Yankees, Carlos Beltran, and Joe Nathan, who's on the DL with the Cubs. 2-2. Doesn't walk many. A total of 13 walks in going on 77 innings. Just really incredible to watch this guy.
Yep. I'm impressed he's still throwing up to 92 miles per hour.
Line to Loney. It's 5-0 New York. Day in Pirates history. June 16th, 1994. Pirates beat the Cardinals 7-5. 10 innings. Pirates started the 10th with 3 straight singles, loaded the bases, and then scored 3 times on sacrifice flies by Jeff King, Carlos Garcia, and a Lance Parrish fielder's choice. Bucks might have scored a lot more. And then I'd also hit into a National League record tying 7 double plays in that ball game on this date in 1994. First pitch swinging, James Loney. Mercer. 1 out. Nicasio already now at 60 pitches. There has been talk over the last few weeks that Nicasio would be a natural to go back to the bullpen where he had success last year with the Dodgers. And you do wonder if the Pirates are going to go that route in determining who leaves the rotation when Garrett Cole returns. And thankfully, the Garrett Cole injury was nothing serious. And there he is. No reason to think, the Pirates aren't saying it, but there's no reason to think that he wouldn't be able to return after his 15 days are up sometime next weekend. By the way, Jamison Tyone has pitched in his first 2 starts. No reason to think that he wouldn't stay. Well, they'll have to make that decision down the road.
The pitching has been such a strength for the Pirates over the last several years. It's just crazy to see them struggle. We've gotten spoiled and used to it. Nicasio now, his ERA closer to 6 than 5. And Jeff Locke pretty much in the same boat. Liriano just under 5.
Be a big series coming up starting tomorrow afternoon with Liriano against Jake Arrieta. John Neese against John Lester on Saturday night. Sunday night, Jameson Taillon will make his third major league start against Kyle Hendricks. Such a great spring training, really the talk of baseball. All the strikeouts, very few walks, but it was spring training. Oftentimes here, general managers, baseball people say it is so difficult to evaluate in spring training. You can't get too caught up in those numbers. Nicasio essentially bumped Ryan Vogelsong from the rotation. And his first start as a Pirate was a good one. 6 innings, 1 run, 2 hits against the Cardinals. As he walks Rivera, and Bartolo Colon will get another at bat. And this time figures to be bunting, but we'll see. This is what he did leading off the 3rd inning. Rips a double to right center.
And he's smiling after every hit he gets.
One sacrifice bunt this season. Terry Collins changes things up a bit.
Fans love it. Anytime he has to swing the bat, and just typically that slug bunt they call it. It's just or slash, however you want to say it, but just bring it back, try to get on top of the ball. Obviously, he was unable to do that, but with some of the infielders moving, you figure you get on top, can find a hole.
He bunts for the strikeout as it's popped foul. 2 away. Four strikeouts for Nicasio. Will now face Curtis Granderson, who's 2 for 2. He just set the franchise record for most leadoff homers by a Met when he did that in the 1st inning, surpassing Jose Reyes. Reyes has 16, and Granderson now with 17. So it was a story in the Wall Street Journal today about whether Jose Reyes would be a perfect fit to return to New York. Yeah, after being designated for assignment by the Rockies.
He comes cheap. The Rockies will be paying the majority, almost all of that salary. It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure somebody will pick him up.
Terry Collins was asked about it. Wouldn't get into specifics whether there's interest, but he did say that Jose Reyes always loved his time in New York, and Terry Collins is always rooting for him. It is an offense that could use a guy like Reyes if he's anything close to what he used to be with the Mets. Neil Walker was asked about moving to 3rd base. If they added a bat, they needed somebody else to play second, and Said he could do it. Hasn't been asked to take ground balls there yet. He played there with the Pirates for a while. Three and two. Rene Rivera off on the payoff pitch. Ocasio approaches 80 pitches. Did he go? Yes. Third base umpire Ben May. Fifth strikeout for Nicasio. 5-0 New York through 4.
Sports is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Cruze and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Our service centers are now open evenings and weekends. Visit barrelservice.com for more. Let's go Bucks!
Trying to get back again to the postseason, these New York Mets. 1986 world champions. They've been celebrating that year. And of course, National League champs last season. The Royals beat them in the World Series. They are 5 back of the Washington Nationals in the National League East. And Bartolo Colon right now is tossing a 2-hit shutout through 4 innings. Matt Joyce getting the start in left field with Starling Marte suffering from that bruised area below the eye. Last night made a late attempt at a dive on a ball hit the shallow left field. The ball hit the ground, came up and whacked him in the face. So Matt Joyce gets the start in left. In case you missed it, this is what happened last night. Into left field. Ball hit by Yoenis Cespedes in the 5th inning. Todd Tomczyk checking on him, and he left the ball game.
And you always wonder when those balls are hit on the line to left or right field, if it gets into the lights for a while. Maybe you saw how he kind of paused, and then a lot of topspin. Almost looked like it dove down, is what he said, like it just went down. So I don't know if he lost it for a bit, and then when he picked it up again, it had more topspin than he anticipated.
Bartolo Colon strikes out Matt Joyce. Just the 3rd K for Colon.
And this pitch looks like it starts off the plate inside. And there
that's
you
that
see,
movement you were talking about earlier.
That late movement. It's comes out of his hand. It's way in and just runs back over the corner, and Joyce just has to try to protect.
Throwing strike after strike. There's another one. And a line drive to right field for Mercer. Thought about it, but Curtis Granderson does a nice job to cut it off.
It's 59th pitch, 43 strikes. And you see Mercer does a good job going with that pitch and tried to run away from Curtis Granderson into the corner, but he's able to get over there and cut it off.
Eric Kratz now. All those strikes. You see the first pitch strikes total. %68% strike percentage this season.
That's crazy. So it shows it's the 7 batters he threw a first pitch ball. He's thrown a total of 9 balls after that.
So rare to see a pitch that he's out of the zone, called a ball. Many people from the area from where he grew up, Altamira in the Dominican Republic, said he got those strong legs by climbing trees. We're talking about the accuracy. And could be 2 if they hurry. And it is. 6-4-3 double play. Colon shutting out the Pirates through 5.
Announced several advancements in a joint youth effort to get younger kids involved in baseball, including Hall of Fame electee Ken Griffey Jr., Curtis Granderson, and Andrew McCutchen. And there's a photo with the whole group amongst Tony Clark of the Players Association. And earlier, Kutch discussed the effort, what it'll involve getting younger kids to play the game of baseball.
Now the question is, how do we, connect with these kids with the things that they have, the things that they're interested in? How are we able to bring the game of baseball in and to where it works together. And I feel like that's what we're doing. And you know, this is Nationals. It's a game. It's Nationals pastime. I mean, this is something that we've always played. And like I said before, we're growing and we're going in the right direction. And I see us just making some great steps, some great leaps, and things are going to turn around and they're going to get better.
You know, Greg and John, that's quite an appointment for Andrew McCutchen as he was named. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, this is a chance to hit the wall, if not short hop the wall, and into second base is Asdrubal Cabrera, who overslid but able to get back before Mercer applies that late tag. A leadoff double for Asdrubal Cabrera here in the 5th. We'll take another look at it, and then we want to hear more from Robbie as Cabrera has his first hit of the night after striking out his first 2 times against Nicasio. Back to Robbie.
So it's a cool appointment for Andrew McCutchen. Commissioner Rob Manfred was there, and he won some of the game's biggest stars and ambassadors of the game to advance the game of baseball amongst the youth. And we know Andrew McCutchen and the amount of work that he does with the youth of Pittsburgh and growing the game also in his hometown of Fort Meade, Florida. But a really cool thing, John Franco, New York Mets alum, Marquise Grissom all run youth programs. Grissom does in Georgia, Franco does here in the New York area. So they're just trying to plant guys in each town. Granderson, of course, does it in his hometown of Chicago. So Manfred wants these guys to be the faces of Major League Baseball and growing in the game. And then you realize, hey, there's a problem. The older generation is kind of where they lost it, the people that have followed baseball for many, many years. And thankfully, Kutch is a part of it. And hopefully the game will grow a little bit more to the younger generation.
Doing their part. We saw those players, and Tony Clark, the executive director, along with the Commissioner Manfred, and Harold Reynolds was the MC, the MLB Network analyst. That occurred here today earlier at press conference. There was some concern about that ball that Cespedes, you could see him looking over toward the area behind his first base dugout. Concerned that it hit a fan. That ball rifled into the seats. Looked like everybody all right down there.
I hope so.
Meanwhile, concern about this ball game going on right now here in the 5th inning with nobody out. The Mets are threatening to run away with another one, leading 5-0. Here's the area where that ball was hit.
I got that guy in the arm, it looks like.
He's all right. Tough guy. Cespedes has walked and hit a sacrifice fly. Look out, that goes flying. That will get the man to third.
And it appeared that Cespedes, that was his purpose in that at bat. You don't see him typically hit a ball that far foul, be that late on that foul ball he hit into the stands, and now he gets jammed and hits the ball on the right side. I mean, that's unselfish. That's the way the game should be played. You try to hook up your teammate who hits behind you, give him an opportunity for an RBI by moving that runner up 90 feet.
A.J. Schugel has been up in the Pirates bullpen as Neil Walker faces Nicasio. A couple of Pirate fans and that young man wearing a Pirate cap but a Neil Walker Mets jersey. Walker, the home run in the 3rd was his 14th of the season. Schugel is ready. Walker hitting 100 points better from the other side of the plate.
And it wasn't long ago people thought he should quit hitting from that side of the plate. His natural side. Just get so many more reps from the left side of the plate. I think it's just hard to be consistent to switch hitters from the right side.
Walker, now 30 years old. Last year, 16 homers, 71 RBIs. This season already 14 home runs, 26 RBIs. His career high home run total was set 2 years back when he hit 23. Most RBIs was in his second full season with the Pirates. He drove an 83 in 2011. Trying to get Cabrera home with the 6th run of the night for the Mets. And that will do it. Way back toward the wall. Off the wall. Walker into second base with a stand-up. Opposite field double. 6-0 New York.
Neil Walker is a Pirate. We've seen him hit home runs on occasion. We've seen he has the power to do it the opposite way. Look at that pitch, knee high, outside corner. That's not a bad pitch, and Neil just stays with it and gets it airborne out there and close to it, getting it out of the ballpark.
For the second straight night, a Pirates pitcher is not going to pitch more than 5 innings or even reach 5 innings. Jeff Locke was lifted with nobody out in the 5th last night. Nicasio will be pulled with 1 out in the 5th tonight. Umpires are discussing something. I think Clint Hurdle went out for a double switch. Josh Harrison has gone out to play short. Sean Rodriguez at short. Sean Rodriguez out to play short. Josh Harrison and Jung Ho Kang on the mound, and there's talking with home plate umpire Trip Gibson. I don't know what the umpires would have been talking about. A.J. Schugel coming on. 6-0 Mets.
Presented by authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Neil Walker 2 for 3 in this ball game. Homered in the 3rd. Moments ago doubled off the wall in left to bring home the 6th run. Sean Rodriguez takes over at short this double switch. Jordy Mercer out of the game. And the new pitcher A.J. Schugel
19th appearance for AJ. 28 2/3 innings. 29 punch outs. 7 walks. Just an opponent average of 224.
Still not sure what those umps were talking about when Clint Hurdle came out with the lineup card. We'll have to wait, I guess, until tomorrow. We'll check in with Clint Hurdle as to what that discussion might have been about. There's Jerry Lane, the crew chief. Michael Conforto followed the Walker homer in the third with his 10th of the year. Nicasio gave up 3 homers. Conforto robbed of a hit by Josh Harrison in the first. And then hit the home run. Story in the local papers last couple days about a struggling Conforto and whether a trip back to the minor leagues might do him some good.
He wasn't in the minor leagues very long.
No. Last 3 weeks before tonight, hitting .109, 5 hits and 46 at bats. That's hit hard past Harrison. So Conforto may be reading those papers and those stories. First and third. Greets Schugel with the hard single to right.
Third straight hard hit ball. A better hop to Jay. He may make another spectacular play, but this ball, kind of an in-between hop as he was diving to his right.
First and third. Now Kelly Johnson at the plate. Fly ball to Joyce. Sets up for that throw. 2 down. No chance for Walker. Bring up James Loney as Schugel tries to now strand both runners after giving up the Conforto hit.
Around here, pretty decent crowd. It looks like the biggest of the 3 nights here. You wonder, when Cologne pitches, do they sell more tickets?
It'd be hard to imagine they sell more for Cologne than Syndergaard or
that's
Harvey
true.
or.
Yeah, you're right. But you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, it's fun to watch.
He's got a following. Ball to strike on Loney. Schugel. Take a look at Syndergaard and Steven Matz. Schugel followed Garrett Cole Friday with 4 hitless innings of relief against the Cardinals. I said Syndergaard, that was Jacob deGrom up there on the railing. And 1-3 put out. So the Mets add to their lead. Book closed on Nicasio, 6-0 New York. catch up with longtime Pirate Neil Walker as he returned to Pittsburgh last week in a Mets jersey. Plus, Andrew McCutchen takes over the all-time lead in hits at PNC Park. Inside Pirates baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, tonight after postgame on Root Sports. 6-0 New York. Last night the Mets whipped the Bucks 11-2. Pirates shut out New York the opening game of the series behind Jameson Taillon 4-0 on Tuesday. Neil Walker a couple of hits, and Bartolo Colon has allowed 3 hits in 5 innings. Sean Rodriguez, first at bat of the night, came on to play short in the double switch. Started last year against the Pirates, went 7 innings, gave up 1 run on 5 hits. They have seen him in an Indians uniform, the Angels. Spent parts of 6 seasons with Cleveland. They traded him to the Montreal Expos in the summer of 2002.
What was Cliff Lee, Grady Sizemore,
and Brandon Phillips and Lee Stevens, June 27th, 2002. 1-2 on Rodriguez. Signed as a free agent by the Angels before the 2004 season. Won 18 games his first year with the Angels, despite an ERA over 5. 4 years pitching in Anaheim, and he strikes out Rodriguez, his 4th.
And there you see nothing in the middle of that. Everything on the edges are just off.
Josh Harrison had an infield single to start the game. Last time up, he flied to right. Granderson will make the sliding catch. Now the 2016 Esurance Major League Baseball All-Star ballot is here. You can head to pirates.com and choose your hashtag ASG worthy stars and send them to the Major League Baseball All-Star game, presented by MasterCard. It's July 12th in San Diego. Vote today, vote tomorrow, vote at pirates.com/vote. Gregory Polanco, all-star worthy. Leads the Bucks with 39 RBIs. Interesting matchup here. You've got a guy who's had an outstanding year in Polanco, still just 24 years old, and playing in his 2nd full year in the major leagues, matched up against this grizzled veteran Bartolo Colon, now 43 years old, and schooling him. Strikes him out looking. 6 shutout innings for Bartolo Colon.
Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
It is a 6-0 Mets lead. In the bottom of the 6th. And Rene Rivera. And Bartolo Colon and Curtis Granderson. Hard hit and off the glove of the shortstop Rodriguez.
Ball hit 103 miles per hour. Sean Rodriguez goes down, the ball comes up.
They give Rivera a base hit. Not that that shouldn't be ruled a hit, but the official scorer here really protects the Mets whenever he gets a chance. Last night, Jung Ho Kang was robbed of a hit by Wilmer Flores. A shot that was headed down the line. Flores, the third baseman, made a diving stop, got up and threw the ball past the first baseman Loney, and they gave Flores a two-base error. Swinging away in a big cut, and that drew a reaction from the crowd.
I'm actually a little surprised they didn't change that, because it ended up, it wouldn't have cost Syndergaard an earned run anyhow.
Down on strikes, but again, the crowd loves watching him. Why Terry Collins would forego the bunt there.
That's the fine line. You're getting late in the game, and if you bunt up 6-0, it looks like you're kind of piling on. I mean, that again,
that's the reason.
These rules, these unwritten rules, you know, there was a time not so long ago where you don't hold a runner on here in a 6-0 game, because you wouldn't steal a base up more than 4 runs. And those unwritten rules, I guess, have changed a little bit.
Well, all right, that's a great point. You just saw a manager not bunt the guy to second, basically calling off the dogs.
Yes.
So then why don't you play your first baseman off the runner?
And you'll never see, if you're playing behind the base runner, you'll never see the runner go, because that is showing up the opposing
especially
manager.
After the manager just had that guy swing away. I mean, that is just saying, okay, we're not going to do anything. So just basically saying, okay, well, and here Curtis Granderson, the last guy on earth I would think would bunt here is Curtis Granderson. David Freese is playing in front of the runner at times to protect against a bunt.
Yeah, and again, and it's a left-handed batter that's more likely to pull the ball on the right side, and so if you play behind them, you give yourself more room to make a play.
Driven to right, Polanco back with room. 2 outs. Granderson, a couple of hits, including a home run. Flies to right for the second out. Noah Syndergaard last night was hoping to toss his first career complete game shutout. Terry Collins gave him some opportunities.
But David Freese broke up the shutout bid with a pinch hit RBI double in the ninth. .115 pitches thrown last night by Syndergaard. One of the topics of discussion in the media scrum in Clint Hurdle's office was that pitch count, and how one writer said that there are 6 instances all year that a pitcher threw 120 or more pitches.
Wow.
He named them. One was the knuckleballer of the Red Sox, Stephen Wright.
What a year he's having.
Yeah.
By the way.
Garrett Cole and Ryan Vogelsong. Vogelsong hit by a pitch while at the plate a few weeks ago. Been on the DL, and Garrett Cole just placed on the disabled list a couple days ago. Very hopeful that it'll be a very short stint. Right tricep strain for Cole. And the way things are going right now with the starting pitching, I really believe that they're going to need certainly Cole ASAP as this ball gets away.
Change up. Just kind of held on to it too long, kind of yanked it. Allowing Rivera to move into scoring position.
Still 3-2. Cabrera struck out his first 2 times against Nicasio, then doubled to start the 5th. Curtis Granderson homered in that first inning, leading off with his 13th of the year. Bartolo Colon doubled to start the 3rd. Went to 3rd on a base hit by Curtis Granderson. Juanes Cespedes had a sacrifice fly that made it 2-0, and then Neil Walker, a 2-run homer. Michael Conforto followed with a solo shot. Walker doubled in a run in the 5th, and another foul. Mets looking to take this series and end the season series with the Pirates at 3-3.
Pirates really had the Mets number last year and a half.
Toward left, Joyce is back. And a scoreless 6th for A.J. Schugel. 6-0 Mets. the Mets leading it. Point Park University tweets, Bartolo Colon is the 8th wonder of the world. Not too far off there. I want Bartolo Colon to be my father. Where can I sign the petition to get Bartolo Colon in the All-Star game and Home Run Derby? Well, those are 3 great ones right there.
And again, he just goes about it and makes it look so easy. You have to sit there and wonder. I mean, I know we're not even halfway through this one, but you got to be thinking, you know, this guy almost has to pitch again next year, right?
I'm sure he'll want to. And again, he decided to come back on this 1-year deal, returning to the Mets, and I'm sure could have gone other places. Decided to sign for $7.25 million for this year. Andrew McCutchen, good sign. 2 hits, a double off the wall as last time. There's a broken bat single to left. McCutchen, 2-hit night. Half the Pirate hits.
Broke the bat, looked like a little off the end of the bat. But the one thing I've noticed with the 2 hits tonight, a little bit further out in front. You know, I think that's the one thing with Andrew that, you know, he wasn't getting as extended as we've seen him in the past. Making contact a little deeper in the zone.
Oh man, was that a shot, and Kelly Johnson turns it into a double play. Wow. An absolute bullet off the bat of Jung Ho Kang.
Almost needing to protect himself over there, but he kind of stays on his feet. He hangs in there, and you knew once he was able to make the catch, a good chance to turn the double play. But that ball was a bullet. Able to pick it with the backhand, and pretty easy turn from there.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo on the pick. David Freese takes a strike. You started to talk, John, about the way Colon is pitching. By the way, Jung Ho Kang robbed for a 2nd time of extra bases in this ball game. But short term, what about tonight? He's gone 8 innings this season, 1 other time. But he is in a rocking chair. 76 pitches thrown, 2 outs in the 7th.
Rare to see him go over 100 pitches. Just once this year. And you sit there and you start wondering, with 2 outs in the 7th, I mean, does he have a complete game shutout in him?
My goodness. He has struck out 6. He's given up 4 hits, and that shot you just saw David Freese says it all. shutting out the Pirates, and his fans are loving it. 6-0. Check out the Volkswagen National League East standings. The Mets staying within a handful of games of the Nationals. The Marlins are 7 back. The Nats are playing the Padres tonight in San Diego. He's the story. And what he does against the Pirates.
Last year, the Pirates just dominated this National League East. And unless they can find a way to come back here tonight, they'll fall to 7-7 against the East.
And there's no question, no sense trying to hide it. It is the pitching that has changed considerably this year and has not been consistent. It has been the downfall, not to say that it won't recover. It's a huge series this weekend if the Pirates have any thoughts of eventually overtaking the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs are off today as they await the arrival of the Pirates, but the Bucks will fall to 12 back of Chicago in the National League Central unless they mount a comeback tonight. Cespedes drives one deep to center. McCutchen back. Deep part of the yard there. Neil Walker came to the plate in the 3rd inning against Juan Nicasio and hit his 14th home run of the season, a 2-run shot that gave the Mets a 4-0 lead. Then in the 5th, the last batter Nicasio would face, Walker doubles to left to score Asdrubal Cabrera, so a 3 RBI night. A homer, a double, and faces A.J. Schugel. Now 14 homers and 28 RBIs on the season. Slow roller right side. Somebody says good over there. Schugel did, but Freese will keep it himself. 2 outs. Ask Clint Hurdle about Schugel and whether the better he pitches, might he be thrown into more high pressure situations. And Clint Hurdle said just look at the box scores. Look at where I have pitched him. That was his reaction to that question. Schugel here called upon in the 5th to try and keep the Mets off the board. So far he's done that.
I'm impressed with the location. I mean, he has enough on the fastball and got some movement, but the changeup.
Unafraid to throw that changeup anytime, Schugel.
To righties or lefties. Yeah. Moves around so much. Even when he misses with it up, hitters can't square it up.
And comes back with a high fastball. Now to play. 0-2 on Conforto. Homer and a single. Would be 3 for 3 had it not been for the fine play by Josh Harrison, his first at bat. Schugel has given up just 1 run in his last couple runs in his last 12 innings of work.
Recall a couple of changeups that were hit out of the ballpark that weren't bad pitches. They weren't in bad locations. Just pretty good hitting.
That's popped up. Long run for Gong, but he'll have time to camp under it, get it, and a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 7th. 6-0 New York. Zip. Head to the 8th. Matt Joyce will lead things off against Bartolo Colon. Just 4 hits. Struck out Joyce in the 5th. Got him to bounce out his first time up. Season high strikeout total is 7. Here's one shy of that. Was against the Braves May the 2nd when he pitched a season high 8 innings. Threw 99 pitches that night and shut out Atlanta in those 8 frames on 7 hits.
Do you think he even cares to get a complete game shutout? Is it important to him?
Good question.
You would think he'd be able to lobby more than anybody in terms of, letting him stay out there if the opportunity still exists after this 8th.
Deep, and Matt Joyce hits a solo shot way out of here. His 7th home run makes it a 6-1 ball game. A no-doubter for Matt Joyce.
I'm going to think that there couldn't be that many balls hit that far straight away. I mean, that thing was
way up there.
Way gone.
Just the 8th allowed by Colon. That traveled some 444 feet. Exit speed of 108 miles an hour.
Finally, a two-seam fastball that was left in the middle of the plate, and he got the good part of the bat to it, and when he does that, that ball goes a long way.
John Jaso pinch hitting for Schugel. Almost immediately the bullpen went into action for the Mets. Jerry Blevins is the lefty. The right-hander, Addison Reed. 3-1. And indeed, maybe Colon is heading toward his finish line. And here he comes back. 3-1 and fouls it out of play. 100th career home run. He wants it. We'll take it for the mantle. th career home run for Joyce, and strike 3 called. He fell behind 3-1. Came back to strike him out. Matches his season high strikeout total.
Again, the late movement. It starts off the plate in, and watch it run across that inside edge.
Gratz rips it foul. Chris Stewart congratulates Matt Joyce on that milestone. Oh, 0-2 on Kratz. There's a season high 8 strikeouts for Bartolo Colon. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Colon looking for his 224th career win. This is his 3rd year with the Mets, couple of years with Oakland. Was suspended for PED use in 2012, so missed a bunch of games in that year. There's a line drive toward left and past Conforto. Rodriguez, he was running hard out of the box immediately. He doubles to left center field. And will that spell the end for Colon?
That ball was hit extremely hard. They're one of the few guys anymore that we've seen it on both sides tonight. You know, balls hitting the gap that he's kind of no urgency getting to first, and then you have to turn it on.
He took off immediately. Well, Terry Collins going to try and let Colon get the final out of the 8th anyway. Josh Harrison 1 for 3. His 489th career baseball game on the mound.
What he does so well is when you watch him pitch, he'll have pitches that look like balls turn into strikes, and he has pitches that looks like strikes turn into balls. And very few does he leave in the middle of that strike zone. stress-free game here for Terry Collins.
He could use that guy, I tell you.
Yeah.
Hospitalized, laugh about it now, but hospitalized in Milwaukee on Sunday. It was a scary situation, but he's fine, checked out fine. But it is stressful. It's a managing job, especially in this city. 1-2. Up the middle, a base hit, and Sean Rodriguez will score to make it 6-2. 31st RBI of the year for Harrison.
He's done such a good job in these situations, the RBI situation, scoring position. It's just been so steady. It really doesn't matter for Josh Harrison whether it's lefties or righties or night games or day games or runners on or nobody on. He just hits.
That'll be it for Bartolo Colon. They're already standing 33,052. Terry Collins says, great job, young man.
.43-year-old Bart Colon was still pretty impressive. The late movement, the sneaky fastball had Pirate hitters fooled for most of the night until this 8th inning. That pitch, he starts it off the plate. He goes upstairs, gets them looking, gets them swinging. And just a couple of runs here in the 8th, maybe spoiling his night a bit, but pretty impressive.
So Terry Collins calls on lefty Jerry Blevins to face Gregory Polanco. The numbers for Blevins outstanding. He has stranded 17 of 19 inherited runners. Lefty's hitting .211 off of him. 8 for 38 so far this season. Hasn't given up a run his last 16 outings, covering 9 innings. So he's very much a specialist. Colon responsible for the runner at first, with 2 outs in the 8th. Rivera with a block. Blevins, going back to last season, limiting the opposition to a .145 batting average, 10 hits and 69 at bats.
Francisco has been doing a better job against left-handed pitching, hitting .245, has a couple homers against the southpaw.
And waited on that and toward right field, but over nicely. Granderson makes the catch. 6-2 Mets. Sporting Goods scorecard. You can save up to $10 on tickets for Monday through Thursday home games. Get your tickets at pirates.com/scorecard. And the Pirates are back home Monday. Begin an 8-game homestand, 4 with the San Francisco Giants and then 4 with the Los Angeles Dodgers. That series with the Giants includes a 12:35 weekday matinee game with the Garrett Cole bobbleheads given away. 12:35 start 1 week from today, and then a 4-game wraparound series against the Dodgers. Josh Harrison moves to right field. Not that that wouldn't have been unusual up until this season, but it's a first this year. David Freese goes to second. Tali Felice is the pitcher. John Jaso comes on to play first. Michael Conforto. Felice fouls it off. Conforto fouled out to end the 7th. A 1-2-3 7th for Schugel, who pitched 2 2/3 scoreless. And now Tali Felice faces Kelly Johnson, who came on for Wilmer Flores, who left the game with a left hand contusion. X-rays, by the way, were negative. Flores was hit by a Juan Nicasio pitch in the second. Nicasio went 4 1/3, gave up 6 runs on 7 hits. Line drive, base hit for Kelly Johnson. Brings up James Loney. Pirates travel to Chicago tonight. Nissan Road ahead tomorrow afternoon. Jake Arrieta for the Cubs. He'll be opposed by Francisco Liriano. Then John Lester on Saturday night. That is a nationally televised game. He'll be opposed by John Neese, and Jameson Taillon will make his 3rd major league start Sunday night, also nationally televised, against Kyle Hendricks. Liriano See if he's up to the task. Tomorrow will have to be on his game with Arrieta on the hill.
Yeah, all 3 starters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough team, obviously. The best record in baseball.
Arrieta has won 21 of his last 22 decisions with a 1.13 ERA over that stretch.
Just out of curiosity, that game this past Sunday in Pittsburgh, a 5 o'clock start, 5:05, was that due to the Penguins?
No, nationally televised. ESPN.
Oh, they had a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jameson Taillon standing next to Jeff Locke.
Is that new this year? Then
I think they do a couple of those a year, I believe. Of course, you can always catch the games on 93.7 The Fan, our flagship radio station, and the Pirates Radio Network. And we'll be talking to Neil Huntington, Pirates general manager, before the game Sunday night on the radio side. The 3-1 count as Felice just getting some work in. I want to congratulate Plum High School, though they lost their PIAA Class AAA championship game today. Had a great year, Plum High School. Vincentian was to play a championship game at State College. That was rained out. They'll play tomorrow, Vincentian Academy, playing Myersdale for the Class A baseball title in the state tomorrow morning. Best of luck to them. Local ties, of course, Pine Richland's Neil Walker. Hard hit into right for Loney. And it's first and third with nobody out as the Mets look to add on.
I'm guessing that was a hit and run, and Loney, knowing that big hole was on the right side, it looked like he just geared up and tried to get on top. No play at third base. Johnson can coast over there, and the Mets threatening to get those runs back.
Infield in against Rene Rivera.
98 miles per hour. Just off the edge, I suppose.
Alejandro Diaz is going to pinch hit. Shot to third. Gong will throw to first. One out.
There have been some hard hit balls at guys tonight for both teams. And Gong himself, a couple of hard hit balls. Nothing to show for it as he's 0 for 3. Rivera, hard hit ball that Gong was able to gobble up.
Alejandro De Aza pinch hitting for Jerry Blevins, and Eric Kratz out to talk. Dennis Marie, the setup man to Jeurys Familia, will come on to pitch the ninth. Felice's former club, Texas, today beat Oakland 5-1. You might have seen our update with Rob King earlier. Colby Lewis was pitching a perfect game into the 8th inning and lost a no-hitter in the 9th, but still improved to 6-0 with a 5-1 win at Oakland. Seattle beat Tampa Bay 6-4. Atlanta beat the Reds 7-2. A day after hitting for the cycle, Freddie Freeman, the Braves first baseman, was 3 for 4. The go-ahead 2-run homer, his 3rd of the series. Adam Duvall for the Reds hit his 19th home run.
Wow.
Turning out to be a pretty good pickup from the Giants, right, in the leak deal. Duvall, I believe.
Sounds right.
Dodgers hosting the Brewers later. And again, Washington against the Nationals. Washington against the Padres in San Diego. The Pirates will be continuing this road trip into Chicago for 3 before returning for an 8-game homestand, while these Mets will host the Braves for 3. Three and 2 on the pinch hitter, Alejandro De Aza.
Barely getting a piece of that. Pitch Effects has Felice throwing a fastball at 100 miles per hour. Well, you see him working De Aza in.
Yeah, that is going to be caught in shallow left, and nicely done by Joyce to throw it to the plate and hold Kelly Johnson at 3rd. So 2 down and back to the top of the order. Well, that does make you wonder then about the different speeds that are recorded throughout every ballpark, because we were talking about Cologne. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you say Cologne reached 91 a couple times?
They had him at 92.
92. That you wonder, don't you?
I think some radar guns are a little different than others, but his Pitch Effects is usually pretty accurate.
Jared Hughes will be coming on. 2 outs. 2 men in scoring position now with 2 outs. Former Met John Neese is given a video tribute before the opening game of this series on Tuesday night. Neese will pitch next at Wrigley Field on Saturday night against John Lester. And he's standing next to Jameson Taillon, who will pitch Sunday night. National TV. Jared Hughes, meanwhile, comes on for his 22nd appearance.
Hoping to strand those runners for Feliz. 3.18 ERA.
Speaking of Feliz, Jose Feliciano was, did you see that?
Yeah.
Performing Take Me Out to the Ball Game last night.
A very interesting rendition.
I guess his 2 best top-selling singles were Feliz Navidad and remake of Light My Fire, right? Jose Feliciano.
I'm not real familiar with his work.
All right. Thanks very much for playing.
But I'll take your word for it.
Sure. At least I play along with you. You just give up. You know what I mean? Like, say, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Let me check on that. I've got my computer here. My mini iPad.
You're right.
Thank you, though, John.
You were so much better than me. That's just the fact.
Not true. I'm just
so much better.
Just throwing it out there.
You play along. I give up.
Fly ball to Joyce. Trying to track it. Oh, what a play by Matt Joyce. What a catch. What a sensational grab by Matt Joyce. It is a 6-2 game. Seemingly out of hand. But Matt Joyce robbing Curtis Granderson with an absolute sparkler. Fabulous catch in left.
And Polanco and Marte are giggling at him because they get there a little quicker because they're so much faster. But he was playing in and kind of towards the gap, so he had a long way to go. Great jump, a good route, and just enough time to get over there. Falling into the warning track, and his teammates appreciate it. And nobody more probably than Neftali Feliz. Saved him a couple of runs. And
Matt Joyce. Now Addison Reed. Look at that sparkling ERA. One of the best setup men in baseball here.
he just rushes it to the mound. And he gets his sign. Not much of a leg lift. Just kind of comes right at the batter. Former Diamondback closer.
Has retired 29 of 31 first batters faced. And out in front of McCutchen 0-2. McCutchen with 2 hits tonight. Drives this deep to left field. Andrew McCutchen with a home run. And just maybe, he's getting back. Andrew McCutchen's 10th home run. Last 3 times up, he has doubled off the wall and left, single to left, and homered.
0-2 pitch. Reed makes a mistake. Andrew makes him pay. A bullet. And again, more extension further out in front. Boy, yeah, they wanted it outside. It came up and in, and that's that short, quick stroke of Andrew McCutchen. It was an 0-2 pitch. First time this year he's homered on an 0-2 pitch. Just the 4th time in his career he's homered. 0-2. That ball's hit well to left center field at the bat of Jung Ho Kang. He'll take a double as it short hops the wall. Boy, Addison Reed, we just got done talking about this guy. One of the best setup men in baseball. Tremendous numbers, and Reed with a home run and a line double to left center. Yeah, tried to come up and in on Jung Ho Kang. We talk about how much he loves the fastball. He's now hit 3 balls hard. Unfortunately, just the 1 hit, that double. But hey, this game's in reach. Nobody out. David Freese 0 for 3. Get him on and bring the tying run to the plate, and it looks like Terry Collins is going to his closer, Jeurys Familia. And again, this is pretty common throughout baseball. You get to a save situation, you bring in your closer. We've seen Clint Hurdle do it all the time, and Terry Collins will do it. Became a save situation. It is Jeurys Familia coming on. The Cubs join us from Wrigley Field tomorrow starting at 1:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Well, Andrew McCutchen homered
On an 0-2 pitch, his first home run, by the way, since Memorial Day, his 10th of the year, and then Jung Ho Kang followed with a double to left center field. Now it's a save situation for Jeurys Familia, the National League saves leader, 21 for 21 this season.
And looking for number 22, an ERA not great, 3.48. Opponents hitting 2.44 against him. Not a lot of strikeouts for a closer either. Just short of 1 per inning.
And stabbed. And really a quick look over to second, and Freese has retired the first out.
He had some room up the middle. Hard to say if that would have gone through or not if Familia wasn't in a position to glove it.
'21 for 21 this year. Hasn't blown a save since late July last year. Matt Joyce. Word off Bartolo Colon leading off the 8th. Familia just got some work in last night following Noah Syndergaard faced 3 batters through 21 pitches. Drive to right field by Matt Joyce toward the wall and past Granderson. Joyce into second base with a double. Pirates have runners at second and third with 1 out here in the 9th. How about Matt Joyce's last 2 ABs?
Yeah, I mean, thought he hit another one. Just had a little too much top spin on this one. But another good swing. I guess just a little bit off the end of the bat. That just, again, the top spin has it land a few feet short. Kind of no reason to tag there for Jung Ho, and so that's why he's unable to score. That's really no big deal other than it costs Matt Joyce an RBI.
There's John Jaso, struck out as a pinch hitter last inning, stayed in the game to play first. And that will get a run home, but it'll more importantly for the Mets be the second out. RBI for Joyce. Kang coming across the plate. Jaso gets the RBI. And now Eric Kratz to the plate.
You have to assume that Starling Marte is not available.
It's too bad. I mean, nothing against Kratz, but this is not. There's no doubt that if Marte were available, he'd be going to him now. Hit with that just below the left eye, that ball last night. A good time for Eric Kratz to pick up his first Pirate hit since his return last week. And that should do it. Mets are going to win 2 of 3. Familia gets the save. Pirates threaten in the 9th. Bartolo Colon goes to 6-3 with the win. Familia's 22nd save.
And the Pirates here on June 16th fall to 500. 33-33 as Made an effort to come back, had a chance to come back and tie things up here with 4 late runs, 2 in the 8th, 2 here in the 9th, but just couldn't overcome yet another poor start.
Let's send it back to Pittsburgh. Robin Teak.